Hello there and welcome to Football Everyday. I'm your host Zach, coming to you from our studios here at the Menara Star. In the studio with me, the usual Football Everyday suspects, Mr. Ian Yee, Mr. Daryl Go. Of course, we are here to preview the amazing scenes that happened last night. It was the final last night. 3.5 weeks of football came down to last night's matchup between Spain and Italy. And I tell you what, Spain made history this morning, or early this morning rather, as the first team to win 3 consecutive international tournaments when they defeated Italy in one of the most one-sided finals ever. Now, Daryl, mate, the fans were celebrating in style back in Spain, and rightly so, because Spain, they made a pretty strong case to be regarded as the greatest international team.
First, a little hard sell here. Have you got your copy of this fantastic, look at that, Magnifico. I mean, it says it all. The entire pull-out was about Spain. The whole game was about Spain yesterday.
Yep, it was all about Spain. They thrashed Italy 4-0, and it wasn't even very much of a competition. You think a fair result, that scoreline on the domination that Spain had?
I mean, look at it, Italy basically don't really get tanked like that sort of, with that kind of results. I mean, the last one was the 1970 World Cup when Brazil beat them 4-1. That's like a long time ago. Wow. And I really didn't expect this game to be so one-sided at all. But I mean, as the game went on in the first 25 minutes, I just thought it wasn't looking good at all for Italy.
No, it wasn't looking. Ian, we were kind of derogatory to Spain yesterday in our preview show. We
boring Spain?
We dared to call them slightly boring, but they weren't boring at all yesterday. Awesome is the word, probably, Ian.
I think what we talked about was that they were boring because of the way people were set out to defend against them, right?
Yeah.
That there's only one way to play Spain, which is to sit back and defend and park the bus. So Italy tried to do something a bit different. Yeah. And they got carved right open. It was difficult. It was painful to watch.
It was painful to watch. Well, Daryl, it would appear that the Spanish were actually lulling us all into a false sense of security. They were trying to peak at the right time, and their timing seems to have been spot on. I mean, they grew in strength as the tournament went along, right?
I mean, their boss basically just knew his tactics from the off on this game, and I mean, you really would have. I mean, there was seriously hope that Italy had a chance against them, but
for about 3 minutes,
was totally wiped out. I mean, pre-game, I mean, it was almost even. There might have been an upset, you know. I mean, there was lethargic-looking Spain, and suddenly just burst to life. It was just an explosion of red.
Well, Ian, they did it. The Spanish did it with the most awesome display of passing power. Now, we were talking about their tiki-taka-nazio style of football, strong defense, pass the teams into submission, but it seems to have worked yesterday.
Yeah, for the first time in this tournament, I felt they seemed comfortable with the false number 9.
I mean, it really did click. I mean, it wasn't so much negative passing yesterday. It was incisive and pretty lethal to the Italians.
Yeah, I think one of the key as well was Xavi. Xavi really turned up for this game. It seems like he had a point to prove. Up against Pirlo, he was playing some magnificent passes, lots of forward passing. He wasn't just leaving it to Silva and Iniesta anymore. He was taking the game by the scruff of the neck, and I thought that was key. He was a key player.
There was an article in yesterday's pullout that said had Xavi saying he's going to peak at the tournament. He's going to show his true colours, and he did, right?
He did, definitely.
Okay, well, Daryl made big props to Vicente Del Bosch because he refused to bow down to the critics' demands for more exciting football or even a regular centre forward, right? He included his false number 9 in the starting lineup, and you got to hand it to the man. I mean, he had his vision, and he stuck to it.
I mean, you don't really need strikers, and your left back is so good.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, in all honesty, I mean, it's almost like watching Holland in '74 or something like that. You know what I mean? It was total football, but tiki-taka way. I mean, it was just the whole momentum of the game. Italy just couldn't stop it at all. The bus was just like a tsunami of red.
A tsunami of red. It was. Spanish definitely were an immovable force yesterday. Now, Ian, mate, in a team full of standout performers, which players stood out for you? I mean, throughout the tournament, we've had a lot of good things to say about Jordi Alba. But Piqué, I mean, he seemed to have come into his fore as the tournament grew, right? I mean, Spain came, this is their 3rd clean sheet in a row now?
Yeah. I think Piqué and Ramos have become quite the pairing. But still, for me, Spain, there's only one player, Iniesta. fantastic. We talk about what Pirlo can do, right? You know, the calm, the finding space, and you know, dictating the flow of the game. Iniesta does that and more. You know, he goes forward, does those little dribbles around the penalty area, just fools everyone, draws all the defenders to him, releases the pass. Brilliant.
And of course, when it mattered the most, your man Xavi, like you said, you know, he really showed on the biggest platform just what he was capable of. Our poster boy there.
Yeah, that's right. He was magnificent.
Okay. Well, and Daryl, and your man Fernando Torres, he ended up with a golden boot. Now, not many people would have thought that, right?
Yeah.
But how do you rate Fernando's tournament? Did we see some glimpses of the old Fernando?
I mean, he didn't get enough game time, but he got enough goals.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I mean, it does come. I didn't know about this, how these stats were counted. Basically, you can become the top scorer if you basically have less game time and all that.
Yeah.
So I mean, I would say, I mean, he did the job, but I'm still not impressed by him. But I mean, he did well. So yeah, fair enough, Torres.
Okay.
Still not going to get a place in the first team though.
Yep. Still bench warming for Chelsea. That's how Fernando. Well, boys, keep hold of your thoughts. We're gonna be taking a little break. When we come back, we're gonna take a preview of the tournament as a whole. Some standout performers, big letdowns. So keep it locked here on Football Every Day.
The first bench warmer to win the.
Hello there, welcome back to Football Everyday Euro 2012 edition. This is the final review. It's all ended now, and it's come down to this. Spain are the greatest football team in the world, as if we didn't already know that. Well, lads, it's all been about Spain, but Spain thought for poor Italy. Eh? They were hopelessly outclassed, right, there in the final, but, you know, in the overview of things, still a decent tournament for the Italians. Would you say that?
I mean, they were my highlight team. You know what I mean? Never expected them to basically, you know, progress that far. I mean, they did everything. They were fantastic against the Germans.
Yeah.
And then we all thought, okay, this team looks like it could basically take on Spain. But last night when we watched the game, none of them showed up. So it's basically, or the fact basically Spain was just on a different planet.
Okay. Well, we're going to be exploring the $64 million question, how do you beat Spain, a little later on in the segment. But first of all, Ian, mate, it's been a great tournament, really. Lots of goals, lots of drama, well organized despite all the bad vibes we were getting before the tournament. Now, how was the tournament for you? What's the memory that you're going to be taking away from this Euros?
I think it would have to be England, you know. The same old story. That's the thing that really stands out for me. I mean, I think a lot of Malaysians, we have that soft spot for English players, right? Yeah. We all support our EPL clubs. But this one, that was this just exposed all their flaws, and hopefully it's finally the time for them to go back to really use the young players. Okay,
I think I watched Peter Barnes on television today, pretty much saying the same thing. It's time for England to revert back to the old days of ball players and maybe unearth a new Gascoigne or new Waddle. How England could have done with one of those players, eh?
Yeah, but I mean, looking at the fact that England now is basically going to be with Roy Hodgson for the next tournament, and you look at Holland basically going to look for a new manager. France also. I mean, it's I don't know about
transition time for a lot of these teams.
I mean, the manager, I would have I'm still 50-50 on the whole Hodgson thing. But England, basically, if he gets rid of Terry and all that, it could be looking good. I'm also worried about France and Holland also.
Okay. Well, for the other nations, you mentioned them. What's it going to take to compete with Spain? Let's say, what would they have taken out of this tournament? You know, when you watch Spain and just how amazing they've been, they've obviously a cut above the rest, right, guys? So, what hopes for the likes of England, Italy? Ian?
There's just no hope.
I mean, they would have been sat there yesterday watching this going, wow, how do we beat these?
Yeah, you know? They just seem to find a different gear, right? Like Italy, they were playing so well. They're pressing so well. They seemed so well set up to beat the Spanish team to get an upset. But the Spanish, they just came up with two moments of brilliance in the first half. That pass from Xavi for Jordi Alba, that was brilliant. Iniesta, the pass out wide to Fabregas for the cross for the goal, brilliance as well. So how do you stop that? How can you shackle that?
So is it a case, Daryl, or maybe the other nations taking a look at the way that the Spanish, they're changing the philosophy, maybe trying to emulate their passing style. Well, what do you do?
I mean, just one picture just, summarizes the whole tournament for me. I mean, Pirlo, he looked lost in yesterday's game. The arrogance against England, you know, that little flick and all that. Nothing on those things.
He just wasn't allowed to do it, right? I mean, he had 3 guys on him at every time he so much have looked at the ball, which is credit to the Spanish, because they're not all about flair, lads. They're also about work rate. I mean, when they don't have the ball, that's when they really put a shift in as well.
I mean, you could throw anything at them now. I seriously think, Spain could handle any team now.
Okay. Scary stuff.
Yeah.
Well, lads, the surprise package of the tournament for you. I mean, we've seen Portugal finally live up to some of the hype that they've gotten. Lads, any other surprise packages for you?
For me, it was France, I think.
Yeah?
France, they did surprisingly well, I thought, to get as far as they did. Played some
good situation that they were at in 2010 until now.
Yeah. Played some pretty good football. I think things are looking up for them. I mean, if they can get their act together. So France,
Daryl, quickly, any surprise packages for you? Anyone surprised you pleasantly?
No, I mean, the Germans definitely were my pick, but I don't know, they're just erratic, you know what I mean? So I guess that's kind of like I don't know, the next tournament, just basically need to really step it up.
Okay, what about your letdowns? You know, obviously Holland has topped that list, right? The old Netherlands didn't show up.
Yeah, I actually I wasn't bigging up Holland that much.
Oh, you didn't expect anything?
I didn't expect anything too great for them, because like I mentioned, we've said this on the show before. People like Robben, Van Persie, they're reaching the end of their international careers. Perhaps, you know, getting into their late 20s. They're not players that you'll see go into their early 30s, right? Because of the injuries they always have. So I wasn't banking too much on them. I think in terms of letdowns, like we said, England,
Germany.
Definitely Germany was let down. I mean, the way that they basically just fell apart against Italy.
When it was all looking so good. Okay, lads, I mean, quickly before we wrap things up, it's been a great tournament, great working with you guys on this. I think we got football overload, but just before we go, a standout performer for you in the Euros, Daryl? Who's the guy that you like to watch?
For Steven Gerrard. I mean, say all you want, Steven Gerrard really. I mean, for me in this tournament, he
showed his class.
He wore the armband well.
Okay, Ian.
Yeah, Gerrard won in a very poor English side. That's why he looked good. For me, like I mentioned earlier, Iniesta. Can't look any further than him. Brilliant.
Okay. The Spanish ghost, eh? Okay, well, before we sign out, we're going to leave you with some lively scenes from the Stars Football Everyday Euro 2012 final bash. Now, that happened at the Pavilion, Kuala Lumpur, early this morning. So until then, until next time we meet, enjoy your football. It's been a great tournament. See you soon. It's
Put it in the middle. It's going to be Mohammed side, Mohammed Idris up here to take on behalf.